Welcome back, everyone. I am Rivington Bism III, and because I like to make Freak jealous, I've invited Aiden's Irene Moon to join me for another day of casting.
Oh, it's mutual, man. I have to accept the invite, so Freak, come at me, bro.
Yeah, let's go. We've got an exciting game ahead of us as well. We'll have that fight later for you. Team Echo Fox taking on Team Liquid. Echo Fox was unable to field an eligible roster yesterday, but has returned with both familiar faces and new names to fill out the roster. They've drafted 2 players from Challenger Squad Ember, top laner Solo, and mid laner Golden Glue. And in the jungle, Fox will be bringing in relative unknown Grigney.
Yeah, some of their names may be familiar to you guys, but they're still new faces to the LCS. So the exception actually is being Golden Glue in the mid lane. He's played mid lane for Team 8 in the summer split of last year, halfway through, and has been a favorite go-to for a lot of LCS teams to sub in for them when they need somebody.
He's the glue.
Yeah, he just brings it all together. But here with Echo Fox, he'll have another opportunity to show his skills and warm up on the big stage before we see him next week in Challenger. Tune in on Wednesday. And despite all the substitutions, Echo Fox's bottom lane remains intact, including the team's shot caller Big.
That's right. He's been doing good things for the team, and Echo Fox are still coming into this game with a win in their column, something their opponents, Team Liquid, are struggling to find. It's been an interesting first 2 weeks to the LCS. We keep saying that Team Liquid is looking like a strong team, but their record 0-3 says otherwise.
Yeah, the new Team Liquid squad, they've taken early leads in their games, and they've started off strong, but it's mostly off of skirmishes. But they need to close these games out. Once they get these leads, they need to find a way to actually get out of there. Yeah. Sorry.
This is the way it works.
It actually helps you. Like
somebody's gonna be like, I actually hurt myself.
But now they're all warmed up, but there's no argument that these guys are good and that Matt and Dardoch, the new additions who are also the shot callers of this team, they're skilled players, right? There's no question there, but they need the synergy with the team and they need the experience with them in order to make more diverse strategies come to life with this team. Because right now they're trying to throw themselves at the enemy over and over again, and they'll win it early, but then they lose it late, and that's how they're falling behind. And it's definitely a challenge for this team to get that synergy down because they've been preparing and running a 10-man roster, so it's something that they had to foresee coming. So Liquid, they do have a great chance to prove that they're the real deal and walk away with their first win of the season today.
I always like you say that 10-man roster, too. It gives everybody a boost. Sometimes you're playing for your position, but now you know there's always a guy right there that could also take
It's
over.
hard to get synergy down, though, because if you're fighting for your position,
when
you're fighting against your teammates.
We'll see. FLICKR and EasyHoon figured it out. Everybody else has to.
Did they?
What was the special sauce? Yeah. Let's check out the starting lineups. On the blue side, it is Echo Fox. That means in the top lane, starting will be Solo. In the jungle, it is Grigney. Mid equals Golden Glue. At AD carry coming back, it's going to be Keith. And support calling the shots for the game in Echo Fox is Big with Coach Kopp behind them.
And on the red side, it's Team Liquid. Lorlo in the top lane, Dardoch in the jungle, Phoenix in the mid lane, Piglet at AD carry, and Matt on support with Coach Loco Doco doing the draft, setting them up, get them hand exercises in.
Yeah, Liquid seems like they're ready. They're trying a few new things, shake it off, get themselves prepared for anything that can happen because nobody's really been the one step up. We'll see it a little bit early game, but then it's kind of they rely on each other to keep that aggression going. So Liquid needs to come together as a full team and make sure all those lanes work together.
Exactly. You need to actually do a little bit more micromanaging to get a feel of what the other person is going to do, because a lot of it is, especially for example, high shot calling, he'll tell you what to do, so he always knows what you're doing. Other shot callers will let you do your own thing, and then they'll adjust over time and be like, okay, now that you happen to be bottom lane, right? Now come bottom, right? And as opposed to, hey, you should path here in the next 30 seconds.
Yeah. Makes that next move a little bit faster when everything's already in play from the mastermind. Nidalee and Poppy are going to be the first ones banned out. We've actually seen Hanser play some pretty fantastic Poppy here in the past few days, and it can definitely prove a problem. Lorlo's been going back to Gnar quite a bit here, so he may just harken back to his big play on the little guy.
It's a bummer, because Lorlo was always a Riven player in solo queue. I've played with his Riven, and he won the game by himself. He's an incredibly mechanically skilled player, and they keep throwing him on Gnar for the team because they already have Dardoch, Phoenix, and Piglet who want gold. If you put a fourth member on this team who needs gold, then your resources are just spread out too much. But I want to see Lorlo, and this might be the game to do it, play a carry top laner up against Solo.
Why not? A lot of top laners have been going in that direction, and not just the Gnar, playing more Fieras and Fioras, I should say, and bigger damage dealers, like that Gangplank we just saw last game, but will be banned out.
No more 100%.
With a Lulu, yeah, no 100% on the bans. He gets a pick. We'll see what the last ban is here from Team Liquid. Time runs out. It is the Rise. And what does Fox prioritize? They have a lot of switch-ups. Do they stick with somebody on the team, or do they feel comfortable in saying we can prioritize maybe a Kench flex that and Solo might be able to do something?
Exactly. I think Tom Kench is the one that you pick here and you flex it. It's such a powerful pick. And TL, they'll probably snatch that up in their first round if you don't take it. They might even go Kench Alistar and get mad at another playmaker. But if they don't go for that, they could pick up Corki early. They could pick up a flex. I think it's very intelligent to pick up a flex very early on in your draft so they don't know where it's going. If you pick it last, then, of course, it's already given away. So I guess it's kind of redundant that you pick a flex first.
This is true. Taking their time, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It is going to be the Kench. I'm sure they had that on the list. They were just exhausting all possibilities that they could have gone through. The Kench still sat at the top.
Well, there's so many champions right now that people really want to ban out, and it differs from each region that you sit there and you go, okay, which one did they leave up this time? Do we want to play Trundle here?
Or, right.
No, wait, Tom oh, they left Tom Kench. Oh, man.
And this pick leaves up a Piglet Callista if he wants to get that. They can also decide to take something else. At least that first not first, but a top-tier jungler. And we have Alistar as well being locked in. We've seen a lot of that with the Windspeaker's Blessing going through. All those heals and MR armor. It's not too bad.
Yeah, hearing a lot of different things about this Alistar. People were running Thunderlords and people were running in solo queue, and then you run Bond of Stone and just take some damage for the other person.
You soak it up.
Now people are moving towards the Windspeakers because they're saying, oh, well, if I'm soaking up another person's damage, why don't I just give people resistances so that they can take more damage themselves?
You have AoE. Not too shabby in that sense, and we will see that being played over. So Dardoch does get his, I say his Elise, but definitely very formidable on that in the early game. He will add pressure to just about every lane in the game. What can Fox kind of deter that with here? Early game aggression of their own a bit, and Alessandra keeps the flex going, really, for what the picks they have here.
Yeah, you don't know where Tom Kench or Lissandra will be going if they do lock those two in. But I do want to jump over back to the TL squad while they're figuring this out on Fox's side, that they picked for both of their academy guys, both their shot callers, and both their vocal members here.
That's good.
So that they have the engage, but they also have pick.
Matt.
And it's kind of the center points of the team. So Matt now has, once again, the ability to engage these fights, and he's not on that Bard, so he's going to be able to be a frontliner this time.
Looks like he's going to have another frontliner in Lorlo's Gnar once again. What will they do on the side of Fox, though? Back on this, Katarina and Rammus being hovered. Be a very interesting game if we got some picks in here as such. But we're just sitting on some hovers right now, paying some tribute and love to friends and players alike.
Yeah, you kind of want something that's going to synergize with the Callista a bit.
Yep.
Seeing that picked up there for Keith. And then Golden Glue, he'll have some good targets here if you can go after the Gnar in mini Gnar form, and also getting to Piglet on this Caitlyn. And I think Caitlyn is a pick that over the last week has started to pop up, and you can kind of tell scrim blocks off of it. You're like, these guys probably played each other.
Yeah.
Got smashed by a Caitlyn trap. So everybody's picking it up now in this last day, and actually yesterday too we saw a decent amount, and I like it. I think it has so much zone control that people were not utilizing before, and now people are realizing the power of cutting off an entire lane and being able to cut off choke points during the fight.
So great.
It's so hard to watch your feet during a fight. You're watching the other guy.
Or you think you can just make it around it. You'd be like, I've done this before. I've seen this gap. I can make it, and then you just get locked up and take a nice headshot to the face.
It's the worst.
What will they reply with? After seeing a Rek'Sai and a Janna picked up here, it's going to be Grigny on that Rek'Sai, so we'll see his first play on that champion. And Solos looks like he's going to be getting that Tom Kench. Golden Glue on that list mid. What do you have here, Phoenix? Really still trying to make plays. We saw the desperation with his Orianna Flash ultimate in a previous game, and he feels like he needs to make plays, so going to pick a champion that can do that.
Yeah, Phoenix. I'd like to see him on maybe a Victor in this composition. If he goes with this, then
they could use some wave clear, right? They still have that Peacemaker, but it's not going to do a ton.
Okay.
Will it be the cast? Actually, it is locked in. So with a team that wants to kind of throw people into you and still engage, it looks like it'll be a great pickup.
Yeah, but when you pick Cassiopeia, it's usually for kiting backwards. So then they'll be in this position where they're just trying to get away. Fox's team, though, they will be able to throw in a Janna, but it's a lot of disengage here. You have the Tom Kench, you have the Kalista ulti, you also have the Janna.
You're not throwing in a Janna to fight.
Yeah, go! I mean, Adrian might do it, right? But his ultis have been not really what you would consider defensive Janna ultis.
Yeah, making plays all around. So we'll see more of that Janna play. Another Alistar in the game here, and Zyrene, a possible 0-4 for Liquid to start off a split. They've never really gone 0-2 in the first week of an LCS, but now Liquid faces possibly not getting a win here. And Echo Fox, one of the teams that would somewhat be placed with Liquid right now, and these guys trying to figure out what their team's about and how they're going to play the dynamic. Both of these teams could really use this win.
Yes, both desperately need this win to start climbing up the standings. And you talked about Liquid. They've never gone 2-0 at the start, really. They finished last season
0-2
first.
But yes.
Oh, 0-2, yes. They went 2-0 at the start of last season. I got myself confused, but still. They ended first place during the regular season last split. So this is just polar opposite for them. There's some rebuilding to do, but last year they also had a lot of rebuilding to do with Synergy when they brought on Piglet and Phoenix.
Well, let's see. Is Team Liquid going to net their first win of the season, or is Echo Fox going to hit the hen house? Let us know by tweeting your predictions at LOL Esports with the hashtag FOXWin or hashtag TLWin. You know where to put those over on Twitter. We'll be back in just a few minutes to check them out. Right now, we are flying over to the Rift. We're going to zoom in. It's Echo Fox versus Liquid. We're into Game 4 of the day, and the players, they're on the Rift.
A lot of new people to the LCS stage here. Solo and Grigney.
And also, this is kind of the first time I saw Golden Glue not with like a worried face. He is so hyped to be here right now. He's ready.
I've been hearing about it. Golden Glue on Ember is very motivated to get back in. And I was told that he's way better than the last time I saw him. So I'm anticipating a good game.
The Glue's only getting stronger.
I want to see what he does against Phoenix. Phoenix brought that cleanse to deal with him.
All right. All right. Throwing some snakes, throwing some ice. See how it is.
I love how it just becomes a schoolyard fight. It's like, oh.
It's like, oh, he did that.
Oh, no, he didn't.
He did that. All right. Keith, he's heading down. Looks like he'll decide to back anyways. Actually, where is Big going? It doesn't look like they've really decided on what they want to do, and with what they've seen, it looks like Big and Keith may be hovering towards that top side here.
Start on that, Start on that Gromp. Make sure that you're able to get that level advantage. But it is a lane where Alistar will take some harassment from the Janna, but he'll be able to heal it up. You will typically now take the heal level 1 and just try to sustain through the lane. You shove it a little bit with your passive, but also Piglet. Oh, there you go. He took the Q. So Matt might actually be looking for a WQ combo at level 2 if they're able to push it out very quickly. And I like this. You stand in the bush as Caitlyn, get those extra headshots.
Get it up even more. Oh! Overkill. Also, refillable potion for Dardoch, 2 Grigney's potions to start this one off, and just a regular start across the board. Besides the swap we have coming in, Tom Kench going to be working with the corruption potion. And we'll see how this lane goes. Already the aggression within the first few seconds, and Noxious Blast getting that poison out is not too hard for Phoenix to keep the harass on.
Yep. Phoenix, though, up against Golden Glue. Phoenix has not had the best of splits, and of course, TL has gotten off to a very rough start here at 0-3, possibly going 0-4 after this game. And they want to turn that around. And I feel like Phoenix and Piglet are both feeling the pressure as the carries of the team. Yeah. You could see Piglet after some of these games.
There's a lot of emotion.
He's like, I was playing so well, and we had them.
Right.
We had them. We were 5K up. We were winning these fights, and then it just got away from them. It's just so heart-wrenching when that happens in particular, because you won that game. It's not like you got crushed in the beginning and messed up in a lane swap.
It's discouraging because those situations play on your mind as well. I got 2 kills in lane, you know, are we going to actually be able to push this one out, get to the base, make this work? A lot of teams have had, even last game we saw Cloud9, kind of that lax moment where everything pauses. There's a lot of inactivity, and that's where a team can really falter. It happens around that 20-minute mark once all the objectives are gone and that first line of turrets are out.
Yeah, the game can be very rubber bandy right now in terms of you take minion wave turrets, you take turrets, and your minion waves get buffed.
Right.
So the minion waves are going to be buffed against other minions,
you get more.
and they're going to constantly push. Right. The minions after you take the turrets are going to be able to push completely, so it's harder to freeze, and then that gold is just going to keep coming into the enemy base, and they're going to keep farming it, and it's going to be harder for you to get objectives, or harder for you to get farm, but you have objective control at that point.
Yeah.
And using that objective control is something that people, man, English is hard today. Something that people are not utilizing on teams is they're not using the objective control after they got the first few turrets.
It's good. You're just excited. It was a good point.
I know. It's just the energy.
It's a lot of the macro movement really hasn't been figured out by these new teams that are switching shot callers or trying to divvy up where the early game calls go.
It's also a new season, so a lot of people are still getting used to how much do I prioritize Rift Herald? Is it better to...
Right.
Could we get half damage on the turret versus a Rift Herald? Is that worth it? Can we come back and get it later? So there's a lot of tiny little micro things that will influence your decisions, and people are still figuring it out.
Right now, the micro of CSing Phoenix to Golden Glue is a bit in Phoenix's lead. As we would see, though, that long-range harass isn't allowing Golden Glue to really get into range. Nice claw farm, though. And he will be back for his first one. Tracker's nice for Griggany. He's going to allow more vision for the team in that sense. And he's going to be hovering towards that bottom side to start getting a little more knowledge about what's happening on the side of Team Liquid.
And Liquid going for the reverse part of the lane swap. And well, Dardoch looking for a gank here onto Golden Glue. No TP used to get back. But this minion wave is right in front of the turret. He wants to be able to make it crash against the turret. Phoenix is just going to hold it.
Nice.
So this will actually push towards Phoenix, and Golden Glue is pretty much out of lane.
Yeah, he just teleported back, too. So now he has to be sure that he stays careful, because it's Flash next. I mean, he can claw to a good situation, but look how many resources they're actually putting here, Zyrene, as they start to hover that top side of the mid lane. Whew, that could have been a bad situation for Golden Glue. It doesn't look like it's just over yet, as we're taking a look here at the Mastery Keystones.
They're so colorful.
I
like
know.
The first time ever. Deathfire Touch? That thing exists. But yeah, I think this is the first time we haven't seen just boom, Thunderlords everywhere.
Across the board. Some more Windspeaker's Blessing as well.
Shout out to the graphics team.
Boom. It looks good.
Yeah.
That's right. Cheers from the crowd. Everybody's liking it.
One day they will all look like that when Masteries are balanced, and Keystones are definitely in a better spot.
You see everybody using the right ones. So it looks like it's going to be that Abyssal Scepter coming in for Golden Glue first off of what he had on his back there. And if things have just been playing out, no real aggression. The lane swap has kept the junglers quiet for now. Dardoch did try something middle, but still not really they have not been seen by opposing teams.
This right now is quite good for Phoenix. Phoenix has a 10 CS farm advantage right now. He's had pressure on his lane in terms of the minion wave is near his turret. Yep. He's been able to freeze it. But if Cassiopeia is winning lane, then that's really bad for the rest of the enemy team. Because Cassiopeia's damage output when she shows up to these fights and when she shows up mid-game, if you're sitting there going, why does she have so many stacks? Why does she have these items already? Why has she already gotten to the Archangel's staff? And it just ends up being a very large amount of damage that you don't account for. It's just that, it's that whole check, right? Because I've been laning bottom the whole game, and I get hit by a Noxious Blast. It's like, wait, how does he have that much gold? And then you get chunked out.
It's not easy, especially with the passives. He just hit that 100 tick, so you're going to get a little bit more ability power out of that. Phoenix is definitely looking to be in a good spot right now. Tier stacking up for him. Still has about a 10 CS lead. And Lucidity boost very early for Dardoch. He did nothing else. Straight Lucidity boost buying that first back.
I usually see that on Rengars, where you want to get 6 and then constantly go into these lanes and blow them up. But, I mean, it's not going to get too much. But ooh!
He hasn't attacked anything yet. Don't attack anything! Aggro! Okay, he's okay. That could have been a real sticky situation. Good thing Kalista's got the hops, because those minions would not have made for an easy path out of that situation.
This is a really good push for Fox, because Fox caught them off guard. Piglet is shoving bottom, and they do have a TP up for solo. So if they're able to actually come out of this okay, after this dive, let's see.
I don't know if it's going to be okay. Dardoch goes up, Dardoch goes down. Matt's going to be the next one. That's 2 picked up by Keith, actually. Remember that Kalista was left up in the Elise and Alistar pick, so it went back to Fox. And Echo Fox is using it fantastically right now. They get out with those assists, and everybody got to participate in that little engage.
That's 2 for 0, and they get the turret. So Fox, with a great play there, put themselves up 2K gold. And Piglet, I don't think he has time to actually take this turret.
It won't be enough. being seen there. They'll have a little bit of vision on the exit.
No.
Those two would have taken it. No.
if it lives, okay, she's back to it. If it lives with two.
So see the early game here. Once again, there's just forced. This is what we haven't seen really from Fox.
Well, it's a 5v3. They know Piglet's bottom, and he has no way to get up to this turret, so this is the best call that Fox can make. And when you dive with having Janna or somebody else take aggro, you have a Tahm Kench. Tahm Kench is going to be able to eat that person and drop aggro. Janna, if she takes aggro, you just pull her into the Fates call. So they actually have great turret diving potential here, and they used it very cleanly. One
heck of a speedy game, too. We were talking about Graves taking turrets before 10. We got 2 top turrets down now, second tier all the way here for Team Liquid. So Echo Fox really putting their foot down to start this one off. And looks like a little bit of HP and buys towards those Sunfire capes here for Echo Fox as they get back into another fight. No. Just looking to blow up some summoners. This dragon is up, and that's the priority.
And this is just right after you take some of those outer turrets, get that objective control, get it early. It does so much damage to the Scuttle Crab.
Yeah.
Throw that thing out for like 1,000.
Yeah, you're saying take turrets down, make your way to the bot.
Yep.
Objectives pretty much yours when they're cleaning up those waves.
And now they have a really good position too, because what they will be able to do is get all of this vision control inside of the blue side of the jungle. But wait, Matt! Oh, Matt's going down.
Pull him right out. Yank him out. Takes down the cow. Ren from Keith picks up another one. He's 3-0, and these are coming up on a silver platter for him. He hardly has to work for it, which feels so good as an AD carry when you're this strong already.
He's got all the kills.
Yep.
And Keith is the guy that you want to give all the kills to. We saw last year how much he actually makes use of that gold. He's a great AD carry at utilizing the resources you give him.
7-0-5 on that Lucian in their game versus Impulse on day 1 of week 1. Trying to do a little bit more. There was one loss to Cloud9. He played Misfortune. Now on to the Callista. So definitely working that champion pool for himself. We know Keith always been a very formidable opponent in the AD carry position.
And he's still a rather unknown player in terms of people know him for, oh, hey, he had this stint where he had a great KDA and he was putting up amazing numbers when he subbed in for Liquid last year. Well, people still don't have a great grasp of what is his style, what does he do?
What does the Toucan do?
What does he do? But he's kind of what people would consider the cleanup AD carry, but I consider him something that you put resources into. He's not going to do it himself, but if you give him these resources, he's able to run away with the game. So he can actually fill that gigantic carry role for his team and bring people in his backpack.
If you tee it up, he can knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
See if he keeps hitting home runs for the team here. Blade of the Ruined King already finished up, and you see Piglet. He's sitting on 1,600, but still that pickaxe right now just helping him farm out. So they're not looking to get in any fights on the side of Team Liquid with a 2,000 gold lead in favor of Echo Fox. Seem to have changed their game around in the early game, putting their foot down way more and trying to dictate it, not let the other team do that.
Yeah, and 1,400 of that gold that we're seeing in the lead is in Keith
compared to
Piglet alone. It's just Keith.
Yeah, he just spent. Came back with a BF sword, so it's going to be good. The headshots will hurt, but he's got to get in range for him. A little bit of harass here from Fox, doing a very nice job of getting inside the jungle. They are wasting no time right now. Onto the second tier bottom turret now. Mid's already been taken, or not taken down, but they're disregarding that and safely moving back and forth through the jungle. Team Liquid can't do anything about it right now. You should be able to guard that. Yeah,
Fox is keeping the pressure up despite having 3 substitutes. You have 3 substitutes.
Yeah. They're good. You're like, know what? Let's just solo queue mode. Go.
Dynamic queue. Let's go. But they have 2 people who have played together for a while. Keith and Big, their bottom lane is intact, but also their top laner and their mid laner are both from the same team in Ember in the Challenger Series.
Yeah.
So they do have some built-in synergy in these parts of the map, but they're still working as an entire unit, and looks like everybody's just trusting the calls and following the calls, and they seem to know what to do around the map. Now, it looks like they can pressure mid.
Could be Big. Looking for Matt and Big here. As I say that, to get their 6s, it'll definitely help the teams out a lot, especially Team Liquid if Matt can get that and stop some dives here. It looks like Phoenix is doing all he can. Gets a hit and a Twin Fang onto Golden Glue, but not too much follow-up from the rest of the team. He's doing good. 131 in that lane to 114. You were talking about how Team Liquid wants to kite back and then do the counter engage. We still haven't got a chance to see that, so maybe that's their bread and butter once they hit it once. It's going to be difficult, though.
Yeah. Fox, if they take it slow and they don't get too overconfident, they won't fall into the Team Liquid hands. And if they focus down Phoenix, he does have cleanse, so you really don't want to throw your ultimate on him as Sandra, but it's still pretty much your best target here. Piglet, he's good for the early game. Maybe he'll get QSS mid-game, but I definitely think you try to lock up Phoenix, lower his damage output.
So Liquid goes for the calls. They say, let's take Herald. It seems like Big is still communicating with the team that we take this bot lane. They're going to hear the Herald goes down. This could be the hit from Fate's call. This also might be the time. Fox goes a little too hard, and they try to go into the base. No, Golden Glue flashes over. They get the kills that they want. And it wasn't too hard, it was just right. Lorlo trying to go in for the where's the damage follow-up? Lorlo then gets taken down as Big. A sliver of health from getting taken down. And it was the right call to keep going with Rift Herald just having gone down.
It was a rhetorical question. There was no damage left alive and Piglet was too far. So that Gnar ultimate, Lorlo, I mean, I guess he's just showing, you know what, I do play a really mean Gnar. It's just, they need to be on the same page. That TP play coming through, they have double TP on the side of Fox, and they're using it really well. You're going to see right here, the pings come out, double TP behind them. Boom. Both of them come out of the same ward, so it's actually quite difficult to see who is actually coming out. And you heard Rift Herald go down, so despite those two members not being there, and a great ultimate, they don't even get a single kill here.
Keith, great positioning on that as well. Make sure he wasn't in it. And that kind of, that just, again, puts that factor on Lorlo. The ult is just a few plays too late. Something already happened, and then he goes for the play. Well, he's hitting awesome ults. Nobody's ever there to really get a full advantage on him.
Yeah, I don't think he was quite ready to actually go in for an ultimate when the fight started, and that opportunity presented itself. But
as a Gnar, though, you're like, my bar's up. I want to fight. I can do this now. And then they disengage, and you don't have any bar to use.
Yeah. So they went for the Rift Herald on Team Liquid's side. As soon as you hear that thing go down, you immediately can assume that two people just killed it, because you pretty much need two to kill it unless you're a champion that has a ton of sustain. So they assume that. They immediately engage. They actually had vision of them doing it as well. So I think that Fox is playing as a unit right now, and it's quite impressive to see with 3 substitutes. And TL just looks all over the place. They look like they can't catch a break around this map.
I think it's a lot of it, obviously, the team keeps calling. Whenever we hear that somebody calls on a team, there's still more voices. But I feel like what's happening with them is everything they've done has been pretty easy, pretty textbook, right? They're just going for turrets, full team. They're not having somebody on the other side of the map to make things scary if they get engaged on. So I think Big's just keeping the calls very plain and simple. Easy to follow calls for guys that haven't been on the team, and it's working out very well. It may be the case. It's speculation.
Yeah, and I want to go back to that top lane turret dive that happened,
right,
where Matt was the one who tried to initiate that. He was sitting in the bush as Alistar, and then as soon as Keith walked by, pulverize, headbutt him into turret range. But then everybody from Fox showed up because they were already making a play up there, and they were anticipating that was going to happen.
So we're waiting for a keyboard issue as we restart Big's client. We'll get him back in the game, and we'll get this one going right now. 15:26 in, and a lot of moves have been made by Echo Fox to start this one off. That man on your screen calling a lot of the shots as well to make it happen. Second tier turret in the top lane before 8 minutes, and then they've been roaming around the map. Still not too much pressure on mid, but it's not the easiest thing to push in a Cassiopeia as well if you don't have your team there.
Yeah, the Cassiopeia could present a problem in the mid game and near that late game. So they do have to keep the pressure on. They do have to continue to close this game out and get those turrets, because Cassiopeia will be able to defend them in Siege. You're going to have to find some creative ways, and Fox already has this game, to dive turrets with the Tahm Kench and use the disengage of Janna and try to split them up. So I think Fox have pretty much been doing a phenomenal job this game of playing the macro.
Really all around the map, and it's a reactive game for Team Liquid right now. We're waiting to see if they can get that engage, get that Cassiopeia ultimate down, and really crush down the engage of Fox here. Like you said, though, Fox can always disengage. Both teams just really know what they're doing right now. More so, Fox definitely at 6-0 on the board. It's going to be a tough week for Liquid if they cannot get this one through. Even though on the desk yesterday, Mark was saying it was a little scary to see what Dardoch was doing, because Dardoch himself, he said, can play better than that in that situation.
And Dardoch, 0-1-0 right now. In the building. They're all here. Oh, yeah, but I mean, they're watching their team right now.
Yep.
Would come up with what looks like it could be a victory for them.
Yeah.
But it's an early game lead, 4,000 gold ahead right now in favor of Echo Fox. And Echo Fox's macro game, like I said before, looks on point. They look like they're running Team Liquid around the map, and they know where to pressure. As soon as they see a numbers advantage, or what could even be a numbers advantage via fog, they think, okay, it's possible 4 people could be here because we see 3 and we don't see another, but we're just going to send 5 people up there right now. And I think that's just such a smart play to make.
Yeah.
And they calculate that Piglet would not be able to close that distance bottom and clear that menu wave and get to that turret and deal enough damage. And he's not the TP user. Piglet split pushing was a big mistake before.
They also, you had to realize Piglet was down. He was trying to get farm, so he's like, yes, these resources are great, but in no position with just that BF sword and a pickaxe to crush down any turrets, right?
Yeah.
So it helped the fact that helped Fox that he was behind a little bit at that point. So we have, I was going to say 6s across the board, but Matt still level 5, a very scary situation to be warding by himself. So TL going to have to hold their breath for a little bit until he gets that, and then maybe have a few more moves on their plate.
Yeah, Matt, half of the team's deaths right now. He's been trying to make plays, but if your shot caller gets behind as well, you do feel it as an entire team because he has a worse judge on the game. And if it's the support, he feels like he can't roam and get that deeper vision because he's going to get caught out again and again. So you don't have the vision or the knowledge to make these plays and make these calls or even see the plays of the enemy team. Do you want to talk on the Caitlyn build? Freak is probably backstage screaming because
that's why I chose you, Irene.
Yeah, because mathematically that is not a good build because IE is a multiplier, and when you don't have any other crit items, it's not worth the gold, actually. It's very, very close to being...
so then I'll push you on that and say, what would Freak say in this situation?
Freak would say you buy BF sword, pickaxe, then you get a Zeal or a Zeal item, and then you finish your IE, because IE is not worth as much. You want the flat damage, CSing, buffing your abilities. That's why you don't go flat Zeal first. Then you get a Zeal, you get the crit, you get the augmentation. I got you, Freak.
Casting the... Here's the level 6 on Matt. He's a little bit safer to be in the front line now. It looks like Piglet is joining with the team here. A little bit of pressure towards the bot lane as Fox still tries to play the entire map and not just one spot. And it looks like they're actually doing somewhat of a 2-2-1 here, now leaving Solo in the bot lane by himself. And we'll see how that goes as he is Solo.
He's flying Solo.
Dragging on the map.
He's got 2 globals, though.
But yeah, that's true. That's a good point. You can Abyssal Voyage and get that teleport to a situation.
Yeah, he is up against Lorlo, who went for the Black Cleaver first on Gnar, so he's got that split pushing build, but we haven't seen it be effective at all just yet, because you need the vision in order to split push. And once you pass a certain point on the map, you pretty much can't go past it, and you just stand there as a split pusher because you don't have the vision.
4 far side alterations on the side of Team Liquid. They're like, stay out, do not come this way. They're trying to see you from all the way across the map.
But then there's 3 yellow trinkets still on the side of Fox.
Yeah, that are having some trouble being swept.
Exactly, alongside a Tracker's Knife. So there's 1 sweeper, and there's 3 sources of wards, plus Sightstone, plus Tracker's Knife. So you have to deal with 5 sources of multiple wards.
You have an upgraded sight alteration as well by Grigney here, so they can clear even more.
Not
that they need it.
Yeah, he got rid of his totem as we were talking about it. He hurt us.
Yep, he knew. We need more sweep.
But there isn't too much for him to actually sweep here. You're pretty much sweeping out Big's wards, or Matt's wards at that point.
Matt's big wards.
Yeah. Small wards. Yeah, I guess they would be the blue ones, right?
Yeah. Another look at this before it goes. Got to take it down fast, boys. It's gonna despawn soon, no matter what, even if you don't want it to. They'll have it. It's probably gonna go to, I'd say, Keith. Yeah.
Yeah. You want that 10% extra damage on your 80 carry.
That's
it also
like
gives him
Grigney was
movement
gonna
speed.
grab it for a second. I was like, ah.
Yeah. It also gives him movement speed. It's not too helpful for Kalista, but in the middle of a fight. But it's everything helps, right? The extra damage is insane.
The possible plays are inching closer and closer if they can find the 1 member. Distortion boots now for Matt for some lower cooldowns on those summoners. Headbutt, pulverize, flashes. Hopefully get them somewhere they really want to be. But it's going to be hard to find it. Like we said, these guys want to kind of peel back before they find their engage. A little disjointed.
Yeah, You're seeing a lot of Alistar's rush distortion rather early, and it's mostly because WQ, the headbutt pulverize, isn't as reliable as it was before since the reduction of the speed of the headbutt. So a lot of people are relying on the flash pulverize now, and then the headbutt backwards.
Waiting to take this one down. Fox, they're pressured heavily. This is the first time they've really had all 5 since that first top turret takedown, the second tier one we saw. They've been having Solo in the bot lane. He actually was going to go bot. Big calls him back towards that top side. Looks like they want all the pressure onto Matt. Won't be able to get an ultimate out of him.
He wants to go.
Fox is doing a great job of working around the map. They're just slowly hook, line, and sinkering Liquid out of their base into positions they want them, and then able to get the fights. TL is taking the bait here every time.
Oh, and Dardoch just gets destroyed, and they're going to be able to take this mid turret. They have these buffed up minions, but they could have more in their sights after this as well. They are just playing, like you said, fast and loose. They're just running up there. Keith pulls the trigger, 5-0-1. He's only missed out on 1 kill in this game. And there's the QSS. Make sure that he doesn't take too much damage from Phoenix. And that's bad, because when you have, well, that's bad for Phoenix. Not bad for Keith. Smart by Keith. Phoenix, you hit these spikes. You expect yourself to do a certain amount of damage, and when the Kalista has MR, a way to get out of your stun, and also lifesteal, you're pretty much not going to be able to kill him unless other people are jumping on him as well, and it becomes rather rough for you. You can also QSS a poison and make the E go on a longer cooldown.
That's true. That really hurts the Cassiopeia. Usually you're looking per poison about 3 fangs, but once you miss it, you basically lose all of your DPS. Not where a Cassiopeia wants to be in the middle of a fight, that's for sure. Yeah, you need that cooldown. So, look at 22 minutes on the clock. Going to be a little priority on vision around the Baron. It'd be quite risky to do here, but they would nicely be able to pull Team Liquid into a spot, blow some summoners, and have them a disadvantageous fight.
TL, not a single kill just yet for this team. They could lose this game without picking up anything, despite this being the team that wanted to skirmish over and over and over again in the previous games, and at least trade kills back and forth, but they haven't had the luxury this game.
Yeah, no kills have been traded.
Yeah, the kills have been stolen. they've been bullied out of these kills.
And I said before, pretty impressed by the fact that Echo Fox is not letting up here. They're not really giving Liquid a time to breathe. Like you said, once you get those turrets, your minions become stronger, you get more push, the other team's going to soak up those resources. But it has not been easy to soak anything up for Liquid here with Echo Fox in their face all the time.
And playing the map becomes difficult at this point when you're pushing, because you need an abundance of wards, and what they've done is they've allocated a lot towards the Baron now, so there's pressure around that area, and it's only 23 minutes in, right? And I think this is the best play that they can do, because you can always threaten just starting up the Baron and doing it. And Keith, he has a lot of damage output at this point in the game, and you pretty much don't risk it getting stolen away when you have a Kalista.
So it's like it's going to be Baron time. Spooky ghosts go out. And chill on to Dardoch. He'll be quite far away. The far side wards totems are going in. But that's exactly what Fox wanted, just somebody to step out of line and try to get the pick. It's actually going to be, looks a little hard for Fox to break that final inhibitor line if they don't get these picks. Yeah. Because they're just going to stand toe-to-toe with Liquid and wave clearing.
You don't really have a long-range comp, not able to really siege the turrets. Yeah. Pretty much just throw Lissandra Qs across them, and then Kalista tries to hit it with the 550 range, so that puts him at risk for getting poked out by Phoenix. So doing damage to these turrets is going to be very difficult for Fox. They're looking for a split push situation, or to buff themselves up with a Baron, or just dive and kill them, then take the turret.
Oh, Piglet, you are so dangerous.
Oh, he's just helping.
He's got a little Dardoch help, though. It should be all right. Nobody at that point, you would hope, is still sitting in the top side of your jungle after not seeing them for so long. But you never know. It's a good way to play, is always think that somebody's in the brush next to you.
Dragon up right now. Looks like Rigne and Solo are going to head towards that and pick it up. Make sure they have control on both sides of the map. And I like this, because if you only put this many people at Dragon, you don't give up all the pink ward control you have on the top side of the map. You see Keith and Big are hovering around that area, trying to protect the vision that they have for themselves. Because if this just gets cleared out for the Dragon, it's multiple minutes worth of work, and then you have to go get it back. And just feels bad. But we do see Phoenix's build actually coming online at this point. He has the Seraph's Embrace.
Alacrity as well.
Alacrity.
More speed with his Noxious Blast boost.
Yep, and he has Swifties right now. He's running at 419 movement speed on this Cassiopeia, and that's without the buff up when you hit somebody.
Right.
He's going to be zooming around. Kind of hard to get on in a fight, but Golden Glue will try to take care of that, and Keith just has shown that he has more than enough damage to deal with this team. But TL, this is a skirmishy team. They want to skirmish. Lorlo's Mega Gnar now.
And they got to make something happen. Team Liquid really struggling to put a win on the board here. 0-4 for the first 2 weeks. So definitely put some questions into the team and what they need to fix.
There's a lot of things that need to be fixed. After looking at this game, Liquid, they need to start questioning, why are we losing the map when we aren't just fighting over and over again? And this game, they actually didn't allocate numbers correctly. Wrong split pusher, taken advantage of. Fox actually put pressure on a lot earlier than you would expect for a team that had substitutes. So Liquid may have actually been sleeping on them at the very beginning.
I think it was a good idea as well by Fox to do the lane swap and kind of take Dardoch out of the early lane pressure game there and have him have to do something else.
I think that's a very good point, Riv. I definitely think that Dardoch is somebody you want to lane swap against.
Yeah.
And TL as a team, new top laner, and then they have a jungler and a support who have worked together before. So when you execute a lane swap, you actually have a support and AD carry that haven't worked together before, and you need that synergy to figure out, are we pushing, are we shoving, am I invading, are you going to be okay? And then the jungler top laner synergy also needs to be there. You need that communication. But Dardoch,
he got eaten up. Solo, however, is taking quite a bit of damage, but look how much bigger just Solo is compared to the rest of the 3 or 4 members of Team Liquid he was fighting. He almost allowed the team to get half a map away and get there for the fight.
Oh wow, looks like somebody's going to go bottom to catch that big wave after Golden Glue gets this blue, but they're just going to leave all of their vision abandoned. Those wards are helpless.
Luckily, no vision to see that they backed for Team Liquid. It looked like they were going to head to a fast Baron, but it looks like it's just a fast vision clear to make sure they have everything they need for this next fight. Dragon really not on the board just yet, so everybody's looking towards the top side of the map. Teleport is up for Solo, so it looks like you said, stay in that bot lane. He'll try to make a play for himself. And then teleport in.
And he just gets harder and harder to deal with, because when Tahm Kench has 2 HP bars and you're up against a Cassiopeia, it actually becomes a battle of mana. Because Cassiopeia is going to use so much to get him low, and that's basically how she's gated. She's not gated by cooldown, she's not really gated by too much of like a range or anything like that. Yep. She is gated by mana, very heavily. So she'll use it all, and she'll have that upfront burst, but then when he pops his Grey Hell, you kind of have to sit around and wait for it and not use too much on it. So Piglet's going to have to help out there a lot, especially since Solo is getting incredibly tanky.
Not going to be easy to take down the Kench. He's also, the way he played that was, you have to focus, but use as much as you can on me. So he's definitely using it to the correct ability. 0-0-5. I guess there's no kills on the side of Fox. This may be the first time that one of them goes down. Abyssal Voyage being activated by Solo. He's going to come in all by himself. Matt is the one that's locked up first, and they're able to just keep going through the Alistar first. Not what you usually see. Lorlo tries to go into the back line, but where's the team once again to follow? Just on the other side of the wall. Piglet doing what he can to deliver DPS from the outside, but Dardoch falls just as fast as the Alistar, and now Phoenix is the next one in the eyes of Fox. They're onto the inhibitor turrets, and we were wondering how it would happen. TL stepped too far outside the base.
Still, not a single kill going over, and they get an inhibitor turret. They're going to get this inhibitor as well. These death timers, looking at about 25 seconds, but their health bars are actually quite low.
Nothing to really worry about. No mana. Phoenix gets hit. That's the rend out. Matt comes in. No ult. Has to be very careful and really just playing protection for Piglet. No engage there, as Fox knows they need to back off. They don't want to be caught by any sneaky stuff here as they take the time to back and get their purchases in. What a catch there. 11-0 now, 30 minutes in. They finally break the base.
So many ways to force these fights, and the problem that they're having on the side of TL is they're completely split up when these fights are starting. They're used to being the ones starting them with Matt jumping in. Now they're getting engaged on by Lissandra, by this Tahm Kench coming in the backline, and also the Janna. Big flash queued there to make sure that Dardoch was going to stay in that position. And they also have the follow-up of throwing Janna in again. This is just becoming a game where kiting back is not an option for TL. They're going to get run down.
8-0-1 for Keith. What score lines across the Fox. And the confidence growing just as fast as their kill score. Golden Glue, Grigney getting popped up here. Golden Glue very low. Looks like he can keep himself safe with the Zanyas and the Glacial Tomb.
Solo?
He's doing it. He's representing the name. He's got to send a message.
He used his Tom Kench ult to get into the Krug pit, and his team had already backed off. They already made the decision.
He's like, I already clicked it, guys. I'm going.
Yep.
But you could see, even that itself, though, showed you just how reserved Team Liquid is, because they saw one guy, and they didn't know that nobody else was around it, but still didn't want to take that full.
Yeah, they don't have control. They don't have any control of this map. It's constantly being cleared out by Fox. Fox could be looking at their 4th dragon right now, and then they have multiple win conditions. Not only do they have minion waves, top, Baron control, they could also go for a 5th dragon and just continue to stall it out if they want. So the fact that they wouldn't be pushing down turrets in the near future, if they went that route, it wouldn't be a problem. But it looks like they're going to go for this Baron, and TL, they don't look any wiser to this attempt.
Stacking the spikes. See where it comes from. Dardock just out of range to really see like it's going to make it work.
Oh boy.
There's one of those Farsight. The red. Lord. So, blue team picking up Baron. Now Fox really has a way to get themselves into the base that much easier. We were talking about the wave clear before from Team Liquid. Now, that's going to become much more of a problem with Baron up minions. Not wasting any time. That fight at 30 minutes when they dropped the inhibitor just happened. 31.5 later, Fox has Baron and Dragon number 4. These guys are on a roll this game, especially with the subs.
They've taken everything. They're taking the turrets down every lane. They're playing the map correctly. They haven't given up a single kill, so their team fights have been good skirmishes back and forth of who's low, you back up. Because not everybody on this team, is as tanky as Solo. And this is a game where if you're an 80 carry player, you probably had this game before. Piglet's sitting there, 0-0-0. And then he looks over his lane opponent.
8-0-1.
How did you get so fed?
You haven't even killed me.
Yeah.
I didn't lose lane.
And it's frustrating. And Piglet has shown some signs of, I want to split push bottom. I want to get back in this game. But Keith is just so far ahead of him now in gold and resources that even a duel doesn't matter.
And for Piglet, positioning becomes so much harder because your shots aren't doing as much damage as you want. You're fighting back more than you're actually able to stand still and auto attack. Does not become easy. You see Keith, as big as he is, goes in, 4 members in his face, and hops back, just gets eaten.
He's got the QSS.
Super safe.
He's safe.
Super safe.
Yeah, Big can always flash ulti on top of him.
Right.
Make sure that he has the peel that he needs. But good split push here. They do have a TP on Solo, but Solo's just hanging out with the team because if somebody gets caught, you have to eat him up, have to devour him.
Baron half done. Looks like they might get a few more hits onto this turret, and they finally start to get that Baron power play in. Now it's going to be the next inhibitor. Mid lane has been the least of Echo Fox's focus all game long. Outer turrets work around the middle of the map, and it's been working perfectly for them.
Yeah, they avoided Phoenix for a lot of this game.
Almost all of it.
Picking on the side lane, swapping to the other side, making sure that Phoenix is distracted by Golden Glue and caught up in a CS race, an arms race against him. But everybody else was getting powerful off of destroying the other members.
Crazy to see a sub-team putting up these kind of numbers as well. Golden Glue making his way back to the stage. 2-0-4, having a pretty great game for himself.
Yeah.
Only down in CS a little bit, once had the lead this game, but it has been Phoenix cleaning up all this CS that Echo Fox is putting in their pockets. Is it going to be enough, though, to put Team Liquid in a position to stop this bleeding? It is not looking good. 11-0. And they've only lost 2 of their turrets on the side of Echo Fox.
And this calls more things into question for TL. This was a roster that they were saying, okay, the dominate smoothie didn't work out. Let's put Dardock in and let's put Matt in. And they saw great results instantaneously where it looked like they were going to run away with the game. And then they ended up losing that game versus TSM. Matt trying to make a play.
Oh, he's got to go for Dardock, but you can see, or Grigney, nobody else wants that, though. Matt throws down the ultimate. That's a lot of the peel that he's going to need if the team wants to be able to use Phoenix here. Phoenix, you can see he's used the Sorcery Elixir, now trying to get a little bit more out of every ability he has. But the team losing turrets left and right, and top inhibitor just spawned. So it just gives Echo Fox more to work with.
Yeah, Lorlo, got hit by that last Q from Grigney, and that's what they wanted. They wanted the Mega Gnar to go off, and they're going to wait for it. They're going to wait for it to fall off, and then they're going to push up again. Because Lorlo, he has his flash available if he's able to pull the trigger, and his Gnar ultimates have been good. They've just been a little late. And now they aren't going to give him the opportunity to even use it.
Unfortunate. Feels bad as a Gnar. He'll try to come back now. Remember, you still got home guards off the base, so you can still try to make a play. Matt low, his ultimate's down, and he's still standing in the front, taking tags. Never makes it any easier if you're lower health when the fight starts. The TP coming in, that's going to be a home guard at Lissandra. Will he have the ability to get in for a W? It's just there for presence, and it looks like they're going to get the inhibitor in the top side here. Very, very tense, though. They are respecting what Team Liquid has for any type of dangerous engage. I don't think it's going to go Team Liquid's way, but Fox is still leaving that option there.
This could be the final fight right here.
Yeah.
TL, they want to stay in this and look for a first 2 weeks that they can put a win in that column, because they could end 0-3 right now. The squad that ended last season in first place in the regular season,
it's crazy. They
could end this first 2 weeks in bottom to their most. Matt
goes in. His ultimate isn't even up yet. They are going for a broke move here. Piglet's on the back. He's got Grigney in his eyes. They're looking at Lorlo with the Mega Gnar on. They're timing things right on the side of Team Liquid, and they actually stave off that engage, which we, like you said, we thought could have been that final fight.
They got a kill. Yeah, yeah. They got a kill on the tankiest member on the team as well. That's quite good. But yeah, now they get to push out. Now they get all these minion waves that are going to funnel into them constantly with the super minions. It's going to be hard to push them off. And you also have that inhibitor top lane that you have to defend. So Echo Fox stumbles a little bit, closing out the game there. This is only the first time that they've had any type of stumble this game.
Yep. Solo gets 1 kill. Solo death. Works out. Math is math, right? We
just got to be different.
Fun with math last game. 37 minutes here. It's definitely slowed down for Echo Fox, only because they've had trouble breaking the base a bit and finding the way past it. I think it's more respect out of them not wanting to give up a silly fight as they just did in a worse way, but they definitely have all the tools right now to end this game.
Yes. And judging by where Grigney's going, they're going to continue to push up the mid lane, try to get pressure, and then take 5th Dragon. And then they pretty much are guaranteed winning the next fight. They just have to execute on it. Oh, there you go. Exactly. Solo, pressure top lane, pressure this turret. He used his Abyssal Voyage to get there, or sorry, the inhibitor, and he has TP available. So you can go for this play and end up getting the dragon anyway, or you can get all 3 inhibitors.
Lick it! Lick the heck out of it! That gets a minion pressure in there.
Licking a cement wall just does not sound
Inhibitors are salty, man. Everything in League is salty.
That's going to be 5th Dragon right there. And everybody's already up here.
Oh, man.
What is TL doing? Oh, wait, sorry. TL picked up the dragon.
Yeah, TL. You're all right. You're all right. Just got ahead of yourself.
TL picked up their first dragon. They wanted 3 inhibs, overtaking 5th Dragon, because they can just get 3 inhibs and go for Baron.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot harder now with all those waves crashing in. Good choice. They could have gone either way. Really just playing yo-yo with Team Liquid right now. Down to the bottom, up to the top, over to the Dragon, back to the Baron.
Lorlo has ulti.
All right, onto Solo. Matt's in a little far from the team. Piglet has shots onto Solo, pretty tanky there. The damage line comes through. Golden Glue, big, actually hits them out of Golden Glue's ultimate. That could have been a mistake. He quickly goes from Glacial Tomb into the Zanyas. Piglet still firing freely. That's Keith going down. Matt still helping out the team, but he finally hits the ground, and 3 members have been killed as Phoenix and Piglet stand on the outside doing DPS. What a fight from Team Liquid, and I think a possible mistake from Echo Fox.
And they're going to go straight for the Baron here. They still have Dardoch up, so they still have that smite available. But their bottom inhib may go down if they're delayed enough. But it's not going to happen.
Empowered back.
Oh, it's going to go down anyway.
Yeah, it's going to get hit. But wow, that's the only thing that really would have kind of shut down the waves here. I don't know if the fight goes down, Fox won't need waves to get into that Nexus. But this does give some life and a Team Liquid.
Yeah, it allows your melee minions to tank up a little bit more so that these super minions don't come spilling into your base and buffing each other up constantly. So these double super minion waves.
Let's see this
for a bit. Lorlo gets a really good ultimate here into the wall. He gets Keith, but then the ultimate from Big stops the damage follow-up. So as they're stunned, Big flashes, separates everybody. So by the time they're out of the stun from Lorlo, they're okay. They're able to kite. But now everybody's not focusing on Piglet.
No.
They're trying to get Phoenix down. And I like that Phoenix and Piglet don't stand on top of each other, spread it out, make sure that you can drag them to one side, and Piglet had free reign on that fight alongside Phoenix. So they're 2 damage dealers coming up big.
Things are getting interesting now. Still a 8,000 gold lead. But that fight definitely shows that, or should show the reason Echo Fox was taking it so slow going into the base, making sure they had all the positioning, because Team Liquid could easily put down a lot of DPS with Phoenix and Piglet right now.
Exactly. And
Piglet's finally got it.
And if you look over at the build that Golden Glue has right now, he only has a little bit more to grow. If you look over what Keith's getting, a little bit more, half an item. Whereas there's a full item for Piglet. A lot of these guys are going to start getting capped off, and then it's going to come down to 5th Dragon, who gets control of it, who's got the super minion waves, and how are they pushing it. It's not going to come down to items. It's going to come down to that fight.
And a bit ago, Matt had 2 ruby crystals. I wondered where they were going, and it's a righteous glory. So on these engages where Echo Fox is feeling confident, we might see a rush play here coming from Team Liquid.
If you can get to the back line.
And there it is. Righteous glory goes off. A quick lick. That's all it takes. And he can't get in on that one. Just completely thwarts the active, unfortunately. All those traps being picked up. Kench likes cupcakes.
This is where you go back and forth, top, mid, top, mid, top, mid, trying to check which one they're not going to defend in
This
time.
is where it seemed really flawless from Echo Fox earlier, where they had Team Liquid on the back burner, kind of not like ready to go to either side, and they would go top, take it, bottom, take it. Now it seems like they're definitely more happy with patiently waiting it out, but also Liquid is able to stave off this top and bottom now. As we said, the solos are getting more powerful, and they can take these 1v1s.
Yeah. And all these traps, though, that are set up, it's hard to get by them. And I talked about trap soaking yesterday, where you want your tanks to walk over them. Well, Caitlyn's been changed where you can't walk on a trap and then walk on another one immediately. There's a cooldown between when you get stunned and when you can get stunned by another one. So you can't just walk around and take all of them.
You're telling me I can't instantly eat all the cupcakes?
Nope.
Sounds like something my mom would say. 13-4 with 42.5 on the clock. Echo Fox still trying to inch their way into the base here. And like we said before, it's looking quite scary for Team Liquid as they look to figure out where they can go with the dynamic of their team in this season.
Yeah. It does not bode well that a lot of their games have gone long. A lot of their games have gotten to the point where they're just coming down to these team fights. And they've been losing the late game team fights based on history.
Got him.
But Echo Fox, with 3 substitutes, have taken them to this limit.
Yeah.
They've gotten all 3 inhibitors before. There's 1 up, so it's saving them from those double waves, but it's 1 minute until that dragon comes up. That would be 5th Dragon for Fox.
I'm really surprised none of these wards, since they've been altered, have changed. Or trinkets on the side of Team Liquid. Still the 4 Farsight and still the sweeper for Matt.
Yep.
Not really working with a lot of vision, but they seem to be okay with it.
Farsights are really good when you're stuck in your base,
but you have to,
because you don't want to face check Fog of War. We saw how some Alstars yesterday or against Dignitas, you would walk forward and be like, well, this is hard. They're all there. Yeah. So having the Farsight or
the safe play for sure. Allows Liquid to stay in their base. Now I can use a few to get a glimpse of vision, but this is where it might hurt.
Oh.
Who's going to be the first one to go in? They say, Lorlo, you are up, sir. He is going to get his Banshee's Veil blown, but that's about it, and the exact reason he bought it for. So more than happy to take that first hit and let the team know where Fox is. The back and forth, ults are up on both sides. All 10 ultimates, summoner spells as well across the board here.
Who's looking for it?
Lorlo gets hit, Matt goes in, bumps up the team, but can they kill Solo in time? Matt now the one going down, Unbreakable gets broken. That's going to be a kill going in for Keith. Now they're starting to focus the Fates call in. Looks like they're going to keep that on the same side. They didn't want too much more engaged.
They want to back off until Lorlo is out of Meganar.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Yeah.
The ultimate from Golden Glue came down and stunned, and he got it! Dardoch!
That's going to stop number 5. Dardoch does get the dragon. They're on to Keith. Dardoch's got his eyes on it, but he can't do it anymore. A nice monsoon from Big keeps things flowing in the favor of Fox. but now they have to turn. Keith and Big are actually getting away from this while Solo's on the front line versus the AD carry, Piglet and Phoenix. They have to worry about the DPS here because it's coming out fast from Liquid, but what a fight. Dragon taken by Dardoch.
Oh my God, Riv. This game's gonna go on even longer. They delayed the 5th Dragon, and they're coming up with wins in these team fights. Team Liquid, their damage dealers are not getting piled on fast enough, and there was a really good play there from Golden Glue to stop Lorlo, and the mindset is right. Watch Lorlo here. Oh wait, this is actually after it. Boom, that was 27, is that what I saw? 27 HP. Oh, it just comes down to that one ability, and Lorlo would have died there if the Dragon Burn was on FLICKR. And Dardoch may have died as well.
I thought there might have been a turn there with the Howling Howling Gale, I was going to say. Not Howling Abyss. Nothing with Tomcat. But yeah, they choose not to fight. Now, look at Liquid.
Oh my God.
Flying up the mid lane here as we come out of the Dragon replay, and they are taking down mid. Second turret should not be a problem if they want it. It does look like Dardoch has hovered up towards the top side here. They got to be careful if they don't have him for the full thing.
Yeah, all of their inhibitors are back up. There's no pressure on their base anymore, and there isn't even something for them to TP on from Fox's side to try and backdoor this, to try and make a desperate play. Baron in 5 seconds. We're looking at another fight here, Riv.
Irene, no matter how good you're doing in a game, when that happens this late and you're still not breaking the base, there's a mental shift that happens. There's a worry that sets in. It may be that you start second guessing yourself in plays now. But I'm sure Echo Fox does not feel good about the way the last 10 minutes have gone in this game. Liquid, however, are getting that confidence back. Still just disengaging with a few shots from Piglet right now into the fights. They're able to push these Farsight wards even further forward to make sure there's no crazy engages. And a Baron fight back and forth, maybe the 50-50 that they want with all their inhibitors up here. We'll see if they can get what they want. Baron is starting.
They're going to look to try to stop this. Solo, though. Solo's not here just yet. Solo's got a TP.
TP in. Claw goes in. Flash, and then the ultimate. Golden Glue, he can't actually use his ultimate. He goes down immediately. What a hit. Big uses the ultimate to push away Piglet. He uses the ace in the hole to get back in. That's Grigney going down. So Liquid looking so good at the Baron fight. Dardoch just a sliver away, and Solo can't make it happen. Liquid is back in this game.
3 for 0, and they get the Baron, and they've stopped 5th Dragon twice. These death timers are long. They're going to be able to run straight out of the base with the Baron buff and the home guard. They're going to be able to push at least 2 turrets and an inhibitor. They might be able to end the game here. It's 40 seconds, 50 on Solo.
You talked about slots open for Liquid to continue building their inventories. Those items have either been started to recipe or almost been reached, and we see Team Liquid's composition now coming to fruition and how it should be used, how aggressive it can be. They played on the back foot the entire game and are now just exuding confidence as they make their way up mid lane.
They've got a minion wave. It's 13 on Golden Glue before he's up.
This
They're going to get some turrets.
Absolutely amazing, Zyrene. They're going for Big. Big goes down immediately. That's the first Nexus turret that's going to be eyes on for Team Liquid. The second one gets hit. Full game. Fox was on Liquid's side of the map, and Liquid pushes back with one swift punch. Team Liquid take down Echo Fox.
I do not believe it, Riv. They don't even either. Dardoch, after that, how are you making these calls? These are such stressful situations to be in. You are calling from behind all game long.
That mental shift was absolutely there for both teams. And the shift was into high gear for Team Liquid after that engage. Positioning by Piglet as well as the rest of the team. Just right spot, right time. Taking those last 2 fights in their favor. It was 11-0, 7-0 at one point. We end 14-10 after an instant bloodbath.
The players I want to highlight from that, Matt with his playmaking, Piglet did not lose his cool in this game. Piglet stayed calm and collected despite him being down in farm at the start. Then his lane opponent got fed, and he just waited. He waited for the team fights. He waited for his moments.
At one point.
They had no
staring
kills.
At a giant.
They had no kills on their side for the longest side, and they ended down 4 kills. And Dardoch also has to get a big note of recognition here because his smite steal would have hit 5th Dragon, and that would have been the game right there.
Everything at the end. The last bit of everything for Team Liquid. What an amazing match. And Piglet he still didn't die all game. 3-0-6. And this has to be a relief for him. Zyrene, you were talking about his emotions previously after the games where he would play so well, and then the team actually couldn't capitalize off of anything else on the map. But this time they stuck in there and played it to the fullest. And I'm sure Piglet can have a smile on his face leaving today.
And I think that the guys on Echo Fox, 3 of them substitutes, they can actually hold their heads high too. Early game advantage, short notice to come up here and play on the LCS stage.
Yep.
It's good experience for a lot of those members.
All about pulling the trigger, and these guys did it. We just saw Rick Fox consoling the players. It was an amazing game played by Echo Fox. Still one of the cleanest early games we've seen from a team as they played it. Just no mistakes in that. Doesn't matter who they're playing against. It was executed very nicely.
Yeah, it almost looked like they were going to Immortals them there for a second, but
yeah,
they came back from it. That's why a game is never over until it's over. Whew.
That was an awesome 4th game of the day to have. I definitely thought we were kind of going to wind down the day. There'd be a few games. You know, these guys would go back and forth, a bit of a long game, but nothing that tense.
Yeah, and TL, they pick up their first win of the season. They don't go 0-4 in the first week. Echo Fox, though, with the forfeit yesterday and the loss today.
2-1.
Start off.
Or 1-2. 1-2.
1-2. I guess the forfeit counts as well, so 1-3.
Oh, yeah, you're right, 1-3. That is correct. Well, right now, since that game has finally ended, what an amazing one. We're going to send it down to Freak, who's with TL's freshman jungler.
Hey, thank you very much. I'm here with Dardoch, and let's all take a sigh of relief real quick and realize that you guys were down 0-3 as a team. You guys were getting smashed by a group of substitutes. The actual question is, how did you not surrender at 20, honestly?
Well, due to my recent reformation as a player, I kept my team in the game with my extremely positive attitude.
All right, so talk to me about sort of what that's like. Like, what's the chat going on inside the comms? Like, how are you guys trying to figure out how you're going to get back into this one?
Well, basically, we know that we have Cassiopeia and Caitlyn, which are like going to out DPS in late game. So we just said, like, stall the game, and if they don't get inhibs and Baron, and like, we're just going to win slowly.
And of course, they did get 3 inhibs on you eventually. It came down to a part where your inhibs are all dead, minions are flooding into the base, and it's like, we either stop Baron and save the base, or the game's over right there. So talk to me about sort of navigating into that fight and making that clutch call right there.
Well, basically, we traded Baron for 3 inhibs because just normal minions with Baron buff are like just as strong, so we can defend easily.
And it worked out for you guys. And of course, you landed all these clutch smites. You secured the anti-Dragon 5 like 2 or 3 times, the Baron inside the pit as well against these guys. So talk to me about sort of your start as a season, because you played a couple Challenger Series games. This is your first year in the LCS. You're already like landing a bunch of clutch plays. You're one of the vocal people on the team as well. So talk to me about sort of just all this at once suddenly for you.
I don't know. I've been working really hard since being on TLA, but now I'm not super nervous on stage, so I just play normally.
That's really good to hear. There's plenty of people who have a really tough time acclimating. So now that you guys finally do have a win on the board, you finally got a win, you guys can move forward. What's the future going to look like for Team Liquid for you guys? Final question.
If we keep improving and if we actually play like we do in scrims on stage, I don't see why we can't be the best team.
All right, so things keep going the way you think they're going to. Best team, you heard it here first. The Miracle 15-3 season. Dardoch, thank you very much. Congrats on the win. Let's throw it over to the guys in the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, Freak. I mean, just a much-needed win there for Team Liquid, and honestly, somewhat baffling.
Come back more than that.
No, they're literally, I mean, at 14 minutes, they were, like, essentially aced under their bottom lane inhib turret.
Yeah, we were actually talking about how close this was to a perfect game in the other direction, because it was 11 kills to 0, only 2 turrets taken for Team Liquid, like a 12 or 14,000 goal lead at one point.
Yeah.
Bordering on absurdity. And like, I guess it makes sense because this is a team that literally came together pretty much yesterday for
Last
Echo
night.
Fox, the players they were able to put together. But then they had to start. We're like, they're great.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to be like, you know what, Echo Fox, they're slowing down because, you know, they got this early lead, but it's fine that they're slowing down because, you know, they all just got together. They don't want to make any mistakes, so they're going to play by books, get the Baron, Dragons outside, then they'll push in, but...
And they mostly did, you know. So let's caveat all of this with actually, given the circumstances, a team coming together last night. The five guys on Echo Fox did play their hearts out on the Rift. However, and it was spoken about in the interview just there, that one crucial fight that kind of turned it all around the Baron pit, well, around the red buff above the Baron pit. 39 minutes into the game, Echo Fox choosing to stay in that fight as opposed to disengage, kind of the big fault there that allowed Team Liquid back into it.
The headshot heard around the world there.
Yeah.
Piglet was able to
Keith took a
snipe
bunch of
Keith.
damage in that fight.
Yeah. I think we have a replay of that. We're going to pull that up on your screen so we can walk through it, that first moment. But, this is that kind of scenario. We said we've got 2 inhibs down, the Baron's up.
Yeah,
It feels like Fox knows what the right play is, but then...
Well, Keith is so fed. He's 11 kills. But watch Keith. He steps on a trap.
Right there.
Hey.
And he gets done. So Piglet literally only gets 1 shot off. It's the headshot because he stepped on the trap, and the rest is done by Lorlo. And after they take Keith down, like he said, they have the Caitlyn and Cassiopeia. Caitlyn and Cassiopeia by themselves just being up means then they can get Baron after that, and you can use the Baron buff to buff up their own minions for the defense that we saw with the Caitlyn traps all along the entrance, and the Baron up minions is enough for them to hold on. And then they have to make another one of those hero plays. This one was, we have no options. We have to charge in towards the objective. We have to force a fight. We can't let any time pass or else minions will flood our base. They have to do it again during the 5th dragon.
Yeah,
and they successfully do it again.
And then they did it again at the Baron.
And then they did it a 3rd time. It just kept going. And we do have that final fight, the final fight of the game, 45 minutes at the Baron. So returning to the site of the first engagement. And this, though, this time is finally Team Liquid's making a proactive maneuver.
Fox had to try and steal, and the key moment in this fight is Golden Glue got stunned right as he came in, so he couldn't use his ultimate or his Zony's Hourglass. At that point, the Lissandra is completely lost, and Fox is actually trapped in a 4v5, and thanks to the 60-second plus death timers, this fight is what ends up ending the game.
Right, they have enough time to back.
Yeah.
And then get to
Baron,
the base.
and then push. Honestly, we're only 2 weeks in, but this was a season-saving win, in my opinion, for Team Liquid, because losing that game, I think just kind of would have devastated them and thrown them into chaos. They've already made substitutions. They've already had their jungler retire. Piglet and Phoenix would have been like so frustrated.
Right.
Except now that you win.
You could see the relief on Piglet's face. I mean, he looked exhausted at the end of that game, right? I mean, he was working hard for that.
The amazing thing about it is, too, in all of the early game where they're just crushing Team Liquid and, Echo Fox is all over the place, diving top, taking all the objectives. Piglet was the only one. He actually didn't die.
Deathless.
He didn't die
somehow.
Pretty good.
What?
Yeah. What? Just did it.
Positioning.
that was crazy. The other thing though is that's kind of a big thing why you take Cassiopeia into Lissandra. It's because you know exactly Lissandra's gameplay. She's coming in with the claw. It's very, very
telegraphed.
It's telegraphed so easily, and you're like, boom, ultimate. You get the counter stun, this counter initiation sort of interaction.
Yeah, I mean, Jat, you mentioned that this could be considered a season-saving win, and I agree with you very much from a mental standpoint, what it would have taken for them to rebound from that. Now on the side of Echo Fox, we got to do them justice by talking about it a little bit. I mean, this is, as we mentioned, a roster that was thrown together last night. They did have all the right steps, and this is where you really see the presence of Froggen missed. Was if you did have that veteran, maybe more of that level.
The game?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I was going to say, he has a lot of experience in super long games, too.
Right. that as well.
Usually he's the one stalling out the games and not trying to end, but yeah.
But that's where I do feel that, I mean, credit to Big as the main shot caller there for getting them to the point that he did in those first 20 minutes of the game where they looked incredibly dominant. But that is where you maybe raise the question of, is that the element that Froggen really brings to the team, being the veteran, the level-headed guy who's been in this situation before?
And supposed to be the leader. I do really have to heavily credit, though, the Golden Glue, Solo, and Grigny. Because they all perform. They're just kind of thrown together, and they had to go up against Piglet, Phoenix, the whole crew, and they did.
This is what I was going to talk about when I thought Echo Fox were going to win, was how amazing it was, that they were executing. So what they did, they won the early game through macro play and through shot calling and through executing dives. Dives are the thing that everybody messes up, solo queue or
teams that have been playing together for 2 years will still mess up
had experience together. Even teams, like you said, that have had experience, yet they had back-to-back, dives in the early game that afforded them this huge advantage. weren't able to finish it, but
weren't able to finish it.
Of that sucker
but again,
was...
stepping stones for that team. Much needed victory for Team Liquid. We've got one more game to close out the week, if you can handle it. That is, stick around for Renegades as they take on the new Team Impulse lineup. We'll be right back.
Sam. Oh, they're doing the handshakies. Look at them. Look at them.
Handshake. Oh yeah, we'll do it too. Make sure to get your hands warm.
Get him good. Get him good.
Get my hand warmer out.
It's okay. After this dive, let's see.
I don't know if it's going to be okay. Dardoch goes up. Dardoch goes down.
Nar. Kill him. Run through tower. Get tower.
Good shit, guys.
Lorlo tries to go to the back line, but where's the team once again to follow? Just on the other side of the wall.
Keith.
Let's
Kill this. Kill right side.
Goes in, flash, and then the ultimate. He can't actually use his ultimate. He goes down immediately. What a hit! The first Nexus turret that's going to be eyes on for Team Liquid, and Liquid pushes back with one swift punch.